media.
For sure, absolutely. Well, talking of media, we're certainly going to go on to a story that really is helping to shape the social climate and, of course, the political climate when it comes to any environment. We all have a sense of responsibility. And our next guest certainly believes that broadcast, especially those that are representative of different religions, can certainly make an impact.
That's right. Carol Gould is a respected broadcaster and author who's worked with top producers including Desmond Wilcox, and her column this week is in the Jewish Chronicle, and it has revealed her tireless efforts alongside colleagues across broadcasters to raise the importance of the need to respect other religions and recognise the importance of all faiths. Carol Goulding, good evening and welcome to Living the Life.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm okay, thank you very much.
I appreciate you put all this effort to come in. It's been a very big week for you, hasn't it? A lot of attention on the story you wrote.
That's right. That's right. I attended at Lambeth Palace 10 days ago the Sanford St Martin Trust Award. The Sanford St Martin Trust is a fabulous organisation here in Britain that encourages excellent programs about all religions, all faiths. And this year, the winning Children's Award, the first time they did a Children's Award was Children of the Holocaust,
wow.
Which was produced by Fettel Animation. It was an animation about children who were rescued from the Holocaust, narrated by two sisters who were actually at the awards, two elderly ladies. And the actual, the runner-up was actually Children of Kabul.
Wow.
So you've got a story from Islam, a story from Judaism, and the actual idea of an animation was, to me, terrific. There were many, many nominees, and one of the winners was the 1 Million Dubliners, the television, which was about a cemetery where there were 1 million people buried. The audience award was Grantchester, and remember, all of these programs have a religious theme. So we had the Children of the Holocaust, Children of Kabul, and also the Achievement Award, the Trustees Award, was given to Lise Doucette, who's the BBC correspondent who, as you know, you see in Gaza and Iran and in Afghanistan and Syria for many, many years. And she received a special award for raising the profile of the religion in broadcasting. And I wrote about this whole event, plus my experience, as you say, of trying to get a program on several years ago. It was a good 18 years ago, trying to get past a commissioning editor who thought the idea of an imam, a priest, a vicar, and a rabbi, a year in the life, was boring. And I thought it could be a terribly exciting thing, and Desmond Wilcox and Esther Ranson encouraged me to get on with it. We worked together. So that's what the article is about. And there's been a lot of attention paid.
Well, it's duly just, absolutely.
Thank
I mean,
you.
I think you really are doing something terrific. And we all have a responsibility, especially where, if we're honest, and I really regret to have to state this fact, of course, that anti-Semitism and Islamophobia are at a record high, certainly, in the UK and Europe at the moment, aren't they?
Yes. And as we just saw in your clip, in European countries, in the former Soviet countries, there is a problem. And now we've got thousands of refugees and asylum seekers coming from countries where they're oppressed. We have the story of the Rohingya coming from Myanmar.
Terrible.
So there are thousands of people coming into Europe. And I'm afraid there's going to be a lot of tension. There's going to be a lot of stress for those people.
Definitely.
But religious broadcasting is very important to me, always has been. Maybe because I'm American. It's a very religious country.
Yeah.
Even though there is separation of church and state constitutionally since the 1700s, since the United States was established, but it is an incredibly religious country. So the idea of secularism doesn't even enter the equation in the United States, whereas here we become, as I say in the article, with influences like the Richard Dawkins books, the late Christopher Hitchens, secularism has become quite an established practice in Britain, is sort of thinking, oh, I don't want to know much about religion.
Yeah, you've got secularism and there's Scientology and different religions emerging. What I'm interested to ask you, you mentioned an animation. What was it about that animation that caught your eye? What was about it?
The Fettel Animation got this brilliant idea to animate the story of the Holocaust. So they didn't include anything terribly horrific. They kept away from the horrors of the Holocaust, but they did tell the story of children who were there were 1.5 million children killed in the Nazi Holocaust. Hard to believe. And many children were rescued. They were known as Kindertransport, and many of them came to Britain. And these two ladies who narrated were rescued. There were other children who lost their parents, who found out after the war both parents had been killed in the camps. And the idea of an animation kind of took the horror of it away, and it also brought children into watching this. And I think that's what really got the trustees and the judges so excited about this. The Children of Kabul was also a wonderful documentary for CBBC, for BBC Newsround. Hard to decide. It must have been impossible for the judges because they're both outstanding documentaries for and about children.
A bit of a curveball question, if I may, but I think it is relevant. Of course, nobody ever believes the Holocaust should be forgotten. Inshallah, it never is forgotten. But is it fair to say that if religious broadcasters of all religions and faiths don't pull together strongly enough, we could perhaps be rolling towards a kind of right of centre, quite extreme, borderline ethnic cleansing on a mass scale? I mean, you reference the Rohingya people being suppressed. There are people of all religions and all backgrounds being suppressed as we speak, but it does seem to be coming up a bit higher and a bit more scary than it used to.
Yeah, sure. I mean, in the past, we had the Cambodian genocide, Pol Pot, the murderer. We had the terrible genocide in Rwanda. There's been terrible genocide in Sudan. So in our lifetimes, in yours and mine, you're much younger than I, we have had genocides that have been beyond comprehension. The thing about the Nazi Holocaust that was unique was that it was a German government-run genocide, and Germany collected all the Jews from all the countries of Europe, including Greece, and carted them away in cattle cars. And Yasmin Alibi-Brown actually said a few years ago, the columnist here in Britain, that she hoped it would never happen, but that if we do push it aside or we belittle any of these events, that it could happen again, and that people of one faith should support others who are suddenly coming under attack.
Absolutely.
That we must support our sisters and brothers of the various faiths.
Well, I can't tell you enough how much of it is of a privilege for us to host you here
thank you.
on such a prevalent discussion.
It's lovely to be here again.
And we really do salute the column you put together, and I have no doubt it's putting an impact. So we'll want to hear more, though. Do stay with us.
Okay.